Only joking. I don't care about Sans. Anyway, hello everybody, nice to see you again. So, yeah, I didn't think I'd be doing another video like this for quite some time. You know, like a video unscripted with a couple of bullet points. Me and you sitting in the same place, just chilling, just laying back, and me ranting about trending topics in gaming, movies, media, any of that kind of stuff. I didn't think I'd be doing another video like that so soon. But first of all, I am in the middle of major production errors with the next Caddicarus episode, so please stay tuned for that. I figured that this is something to tide everyone over. But also, going by the reaction I got to my Crash Team Racing microtransactions videos that I did, as far as view counts and my sub base goes, they have done exceedingly well for my channel at least. So I figured I'd be a fool to not keep the ball rolling and do more videos like this. Just like, you know, no music, just me and you, no in-betweeny nonsense, just telling you what I think about things. I've got a lot of opinions to share, and sometimes just retweeting things, like retweeting articles and tweeting out about things in live, like reaction to things. Sometimes I can't get every thought that I want to out there in a tweet. So, hey, let's make more videos. I mean, I can't see anyone else complaining about more videos. Let's do it. Anyway, enough gibberish. Let's carry on with what this video is about. I'm going to be reacting today to the Nintendo Direct that went out for me yesterday. Was it yesterday for everyone else? I don't know. Time zones are completely screwed. But yeah, I'm just going to be giving you my thoughts in order, sequential order, from what the announcements were at Nintendo Direct and what I think about all of them. Overwatch on the Switch. I mean, I'm quite impressed with it. From what we saw, it looks like it runs really smooth, and it's another way to play a really good game in a portable manner. So I can't really complain about that. The only things I want to know personally, which weren't displayed in the trailer, were, first of all, can it be local multiplayer with different Switch consoles? Because that would be kick-ass. Is it cross-platform as well? Can you play with PC people or PS4 people or the other console, which I've forgotten the name of? You know, those people. Could you play with them with your Switch? That'd be pretty cool. And also, I mean, I'm being optimistic, but was the footage we were seeing on the Nintendo Direct, was that taken from a Switch, or was that stock footage from the other versions of the game that they're just showing off what could potentially be on the Switch? Because if they could get it running at 60 FPS on the Switch, I'd be very impressed, and I think that would be really cool. Luigi's Mansion 3. Okay, well, yeah, we found out a few more, like, I think there's like mini games and stuff like that they were showing off, and more multiplayer stuff, which is all well and good with me, as long as it doesn't affect the core of the game, which is what we're all buying Luigi's Mansion for the single player experience. I can actually talk to you guys about Luigi's Mansion as a hands-on person, because I have played the game for 2 hours in total, and it's good. It didn't blow my mind when I played it. I went to Nintendo's headquarters in the UK in Windsor to play the game, and it was good. It was really good, really enjoyable. It didn't blow my mind. It's taking more of a Luigi's Mansion 2 approach, you know, stage by stage. It's a puzzle solver more than it is leaving you alone in a mansion to explore, open doors, solve puzzles, which, like, it's not missions. It wasn't mission structured. Like, it's more mission structured like Luigi's Mansion 2 is, and not like Luigi's Mansion 1, which I prefer. I love the idea of just being lost in the middle of a spooky mansion and working everything out for yourself in an almost Resident Evil kind of way. So if you come across a puzzle, then you have to use the resources you have to figure it out and not rely on just getting the mission completed or relying on hints or being railroaded into solving particular puzzles. But the puzzles that were in the game that I played were really solid. The Gooigi mechanic is fantastic fun, and there are loads of secrets. I mean, you can say, oh yeah, it's just room to room, you don't do much exploring, but there is a lot of secrets. Sorry, there are a lot of secrets to uncover, lots. I missed loads when I played the game, and then when I replayed it for the second hour, I managed to find like 4 secrets on the first room that I managed to miss, like secret passages to rooms, more cash hiding away. So yeah, it's really good stuff. Maybe it's because it was an early build of the game, the performance was kind of terrible. It was dipping frames all over the place, and it didn't look particularly smooth on the Nintendo Direct either, which I'm kind of worried about, but I mean, there's still time. It's early days. I'm hoping the game runs a bit smoother. If it could get a solid 30 consistently without dropping, I'm cool with that, because the rest of the game's fun. it's just not blowing me away. Super Kirby Clash. This looked interesting once I saw all the RPG mechanics that popped up onto the screen. But then I wasn't sure what to make of it, because then it kind of took a bit of a nosedive for me, because it started looking a bit like a mobile game. And not to discredit mobile games, but if you've got a console game, I was kind of hoping it was going to have a little bit more to it as an RPG than just having singular battle arenas. Like you're just, like you're playing a mobile game. You're going from room to room, sorting out a problem, and then going to the next thing. I wasn't too hot on it. I mean, they didn't show off much. Maybe there is more to it. The game's out now, I believe, so maybe there's something else going on that they just didn't want to show off. Maybe they wanted to surprise everybody. But from what the trailers in the Direct were showing off, it didn't really do much for me. The Trials of Mana reimagining looks absolutely great. I've never played any Mana games before, but this looks more like how I would enjoy a JRPG in this style. Much like how the Final Fantasy VII Remake is going down, I'm just more of a reflex, reactionary, position, real-time based kind of person when it comes to stats and numbers and weaknesses and strength. With all the RPG stuff, I'm just not the biggest on turn-based. I've grown to like it more over the years. I used to hate it, but now I'm all right with it. Been playing a little bit more Pokemon. I'm getting used to it, but yeah, this looks like more up my street, so if I'm going to try out Mana, then I will probably try it out now. The return of the Obra Dinn announcement is brilliant on its own, just for the fact that Nintendo allowed the word bastards to be said on their kid-friendly live stream. I mean, that was brilliant. You bastard! First you got Bayonetta on your console as like a headliner, and then you're saying bastards to all the kids. It's fantastic. But yeah, Obra Dinn, I mean, I have been, it's in my wish list on Steam. I've been meaning to play it for a long time. It looks incredible. And this is now just giving me another excuse to pick it up now, because portable gaming is what I spend probably most of my time with, because I'm just so busy. I never really have time to sit down and play Steam / PS4 games as often as I used to. So, I mean, it's portable now. I haven't got an excuse. I need to pick it up. The game looks great. I'm glad it's on Switch. I'm just going to come out and say it. Little Town Hero looks absolutely boring to me. I mean, you gather friends, you fight. This is from Game Freak, the same guys behind Pokemon, and it looks like Pokemon simplicity but without most of the charm that Pokemon has, without most of the character. It just looks like every other game like this that you can imagine and that we've seen. It doesn't look like it's doing anything new, anything special. I think I'm going to give it a miss. But there is a character in it called Sheepoo, so I suppose that makes it better. Now it's time to talk about Banjo in Smash, and I'm going to be talking a little bit as well about the gameplay demo for him that appeared after the Nintendo Direct. First of all, we need to address the fact that Sakurai looks nearly dead, and he's playing with two controllers like a piano. I mean, leave the man alone. He's trying to make you all happy. And as far as everything else goes, I mean, Banjo looks fantastic on the Switch. The animations and moves are imaginative and hilarious. The music remixes are perfect for Smash Brothers, and he may become my new main next to Bayonetta, depending on how well he actually plays. The Spiral Mountain stage looks great as well, like visually, so it just makes me wonder, why don't they remake it? I think they could get away with that. And are you saying that, like, oh yeah, it's owned by Microsoft, that's why? Yeah, that was weird. Sakurai promoted Xbox One on Nintendo Direct. That was really, really buggered, wasn't it? Yeah, I suppose that the spinning gimmick of the stage looks a little bit stupid, what they showed off anyway, because the characters are just, like, the stage is sliding around their feet as they hover above it, but I suppose if you're moving, jumping and fighting, it all looks a bit different, it looks more natural, so I'm not really that fussed. I had no idea what the Neo Geo announcement was all about. It was taking a while to get to the point, and then all of a sudden, Terry joins the battle! Okay. I mean, if you couldn't tell, I've never played Fatal Fury. I've never played a Neo Geo. I don't know anything about these characters, this series, but I just thought it was brilliant how, like, the name of the guy made me laugh. It was just like, it's like you asked your plumber down the street to join in with Smash. Oh, Terry, you want to come in and play Smash? Oh, right, Terry joins your battle. It made me laugh a little bit. I loved how plain the name was of the character that they picked. Maybe he's a big deal in Fatal Fury, I don't know, but what's next? Are we going to get Mark joins the battle. And then we got to talk about the costume announcements. I loved Team Rocket, I loved Zero from Mega Man X, and I loved Proto Man. And yeah, I don't really give much of a shit about Sans, but I can't deny that it's really cool that he's in there. And Toby Fox is an inspirational character for someone who started making fan hacks and then made his own characters, and then those own characters ended up in Smash. It's pretty cool stuff. More Link's Awakening remake news here. More specifically, because we know what the game looks like, we know how it's probably going to play, but the fact that you can build your own dungeons and then swap them around with your friends, kind of like a mini Mario Maker in an already really good remake. This is another game I managed to play in the Nintendo headquarters in Windsor, and this was really good. Again, maybe there was a theme going on because Luigi's Mansion 3 didn't run so well. That didn't run too well either. Lots of frame drops, which is a shame. But then again, early days, it's still in development. I know I'm expecting too much, but first impressions are quite important. And yeah, what I saw was fantastic. It looked great. It played great as well. It looks like a fantastic remake. It wasn't the best introduction, and hopefully all of that stuff gets ironed out when the final game comes out, hopefully. But yeah, no, I love the idea of there being a dungeon maker within a dungeon crawler in a weird way. I know it's not a dungeon crawler, but you know what I mean. It's like, instead of having a Mario Maker, just a whole game dedicated to making things, like, oh yeah, you've got an awesome action-adventure game that's a remake of an already great one, but you can also make dungeons. And you can fart them over to your friends. It's brilliant. On to Dragon Quest. I don't really care, sorry guys. It's just not my cup of tea. I haven't played them, so I probably couldn't say that, but from everything I've seen, even with the highest recommendations from everyone possible, even everyone in the comments right now yelling at me for never playing them, I'm probably never going to get around to it. It's just not my thing. JRPGs are not the first thing I jump to. Although, this dude here, I mean, is he an enemy? I hope he is, because I can't imagine what he'd look like if you stabbed him. I can say the same thing about that Tokyo Mirage Sessions Shin Megami Tensei Fire Emblem. No, I'm sorry guys, I'm not the guy you turn to when it comes to JRPG stuff. I'm just not well versed in it. It's not my genre I jump to, so sorry about that. But then we get Deadly Premonition 2, and I've heard a lot of things about the original game, and funnily enough, they also have announced a remastering, I suppose, of the original game alongside this sequel. And what I love about this is that I've heard loads of mixed things about Deadly Premonition. I heard it was terrible, I heard it was revolutionary, I heard it was hilarious, I heard it was scary, I heard it was every emotional response you could possibly get from it, you could get from Deadly Premonition. So I've been meaning to play it for a long time, and the fact that Nintendo have latched on to this market, is it a Nintendo thing? Are they getting it, is it coming on PC as well? I don't know, but like, it was on Nintendo Direct, so I'm going to be talking about it in the context of Nintendo Direct. So the fact that these guys have managed to see the cult following that this game has grabbed and then capitalize on it and give them more of what they love with a sequel, and then bring back the original game for other people who don't understand where the hype was coming from in the first place, I think that's a great addition to the Direct. It was very surprising, did not see that coming at all. And I'm going to try Deadly Premonition now. Divinity 2 looks really cool. I mean, you can share cloud saves with the Steam version and the Switch version, so you can keep things going back and forth between each game. Can't complain about anything there. And then all of a sudden, you get Doom 64. How about that? And when I say Doom 64 looks fantastic, what I mean is that, yeah, it's dated, yeah, but it does look really good and sharp. It's not like remastered absolutely top to bottom everywhere. It's still the Nintendo 64 game that you all know and love, but just looking sharper on a more modern system. And judging by that, does this mean that there's a potential we can get other Nintendo 64 like remasters, like just upscaling onto the Switch? Because that would be great, because Doom 64 looks really good. So you could do so much. There's so much potential, so many possibilities. All you got to do is port Mario 64, and I'm happy. Just do that. Maybe Banjo. I mean, they've already. Microsoft, let Banjo go. As far as Rogue Company goes, I'll be really surprised if it looks that good and runs that well, so only time will tell. Pokemon Sword and Shield is another game I also played while I was at the Nintendo headquarters, and I can't wait for Pokemon Sickness and Pokemon Diarrhea. They haven't added much more news to what we already know, but there is a lot more customization options, which are fantastic. You can do, like, you can go even as detailed as makeup now, which is nuts. And there's this, like, Chow Garden-styled Pokemon camp, and there's a cooking system similar to, like, Final Fantasy 15. Like, it just looks, it looks pretty robust, pretty expanded against other Pokemon games before it, and it's a mainline Pokemon game on a console, like a home console, over a portable system, so they can really pull all the stops with it. We also got a little look at some of the more British-inspired Pokemon they're going to be including, like Teapot, yay, and a cormorant one as well, like that's a seabird. So you mix that all in with like the sheep and the corgi and the crow as well, and I'm liking this representation. I'm liking it a lot. Oh, and there's lots of rain in the game too. That's very accurate. But then my favourite announcement came in out of absolutely nowhere. Super Nintendo Online! I mean, I don't need to explain why that is such a cool addition to the Switch. I mean, it may make the SNES Classic under my telly completely useless and like I've wasted my money on it. They got my money out of me when that was the thing to get, and now it's completely useless now, so it's kind of like I've been mugged. But hey, at least it's got Star Fox 2 on it. Then, of course, there is the announcement that to coincide with the new SNES game lineup for Nintendo Online subscribers, they've got the new limited edition controller that looks like the SNES controller, and that I could live with that, and I'll tell you why, because I've already got one of them. This is the 8BitDo gamepad, which is basically the same thing. It's wireless SNES controller with double triggers at the top. It feels exactly like an SNES controller, but it's got analog sticks. It's got more universal compatibility with all the it acts like a Pro controller basically. So I mean, it's nice Nintendo wanted to do that, but you can do it better, and it's already been done. Tetris and DLC in the same sentence is very funny, but in all seriousness, the Tetris 99 DLC does look pretty great. It looks like a totally different game. There's loads more cosmetic things, local multiplayer. It's another thing where it's like, yeah, it's something that already is it's like it's for another game that's already on Nintendo. It's just an update, but you can't complain about it. It's more stuff on an already decent game. The new Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games game is another one that I've actually played. I played that at the Nintendo UK headquarters as well, and I did love how the announcer said badminton.
Badminton?
Ooh, badminton, you say? There's all these new mini-games centered around the 8-bit and 16-bit characters from Mario and Sonic that looks fantastic, and they said that there was a story mode now. I mean, I don't remember the other ones having a story mode. Did they have a story mode? I'm pretty sure they were just mini-games. But then it has been a very long time since I've played Mario and Sonic, so maybe not. But yeah, I can tell you as someone who has played the game firsthand, I've played archery, the martial arts one, whichever sport that was. What else was there? I can't remember off the top of my head. It was a while ago, but I did play with my partner Caddicarus quite a few of the games. And it's Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games. You can't really complain. Hurdles, that was it. Yeah, you can't really... Oh, and skateboarding, that was it. 4 games. Skateboarding, hurdles, yeah, that was it. But anyway, we played them, and they're fine. It's a fine game. It's fun enough. I can't see you getting any more than half an hour's worth of enjoyment before you switch on to something else and then bring it back in for a party atmosphere. It's not like a come back to it every single time you feel like Mario and Sonic kind of thing, but it's fine. It does the job. Daemon X Machina. I mean, it looks kind of cool, but also looks really bleak at the same time. Star Wars Jedi Knight 2, never played it. In fact, I'd never heard of this game up until this announcement, but they said it was a classic that they're putting back onto the Switch. So if anything, I'm really glad that these old franchises and ports of other franchises are now giving me no excuse to not go back and play them, because they're here and ready for you. Witcher 3, I mean, that's just amazing. Being able to play that portably, it's one of my favourite games of all time. Yes, please. Black Flag, in my opinion, is also the best Assassin's Creed game. Nothing has topped it since then, so having that is just as cool, especially since we had Assassin's Creed 3 on the Switch, which I don't know anyone that likes that one. And Dauntless looks gauntless. At this point, they just kind of throw out a quick fire list of other games that they're working on or are coming out soon. So as quick as they're going to introduce them, I'm going to give very quick one-word opinions on. Just Dance 2020, really? Grid Autosport, Farming Simulator, cute. Ni no Kuni 1, awesome. NBA, Call of Cthulhu, Outer Worlds, Devil May Cry 2, ha! Vampire, And then we see Tom Nook, who is dressed like my uncle. The new Animal Crossing looks totally bloody adorable. I don't think anyone can disagree with that. The visuals are extremely vibrant and sharp. It's all updated as well with modern technology, with this like iPhone gadget to do all sorts of crafting things that can extend the game beyond pressing A to chop down or shake a tree, to then trade fruit to get money, to buy a fishing rod to then fish and then trade the fish. You know, with this idea of crafting tools to do more things instead of just pressing A against everything when you have the tool, it just adds more unique tasks to the game, which I didn't think that Animal Crossing was lacking at all. There's lots to do in Animal Crossing, you know, if you like being able to do basically nothing, but yeah, just the fact that there's now loads more systems in place to make it a little bit more engaging. I mean, that's a logical step forward, and it looks really fun. There's also that reward system for doing things instead of just paying off the debt that you're left with when you start all of the other games, so the debt becomes a background thing and not the main focus of the game. Oh, what's that? The scenery changes with the time and weather? That's nothing new. They've been doing that since like the beginning. What are you talking about? 4 players at once? I really like that. And up to 8 players? Great. They actually can contribute to reward goals as well, as far as I'm aware, and help you speed along your life goals within the game, which is nice because I remember playing online with my girlfriend years ago on New Leaf on my 3DS, and I mean, it's cute and everything, but we couldn't do anything. You just kind of run into each other and run around with your arms behind your back, you know, so I'm glad that there's more utility with the characters this time. Xenoblade Chronicles was next. It looks great, I guess, not much else to say. The problem is that I thought the voice acting clip they chose to start the announcement with was, honestly, I haven't played it. I've heard Xenoblade Chronicles is a good game. The voice acting's not that great, or the script isn't very good, or that just wasn't a very good line, but why did they choose that delivery of that exchange? It really sounded terrible.
Do you wish to change it? Huh?
And according to them, since it's going to be jumping from Wii to Switch, it's quite a considerable jump, so it makes sense that they would put it on here. And that, ladies and gentlemen, was the most recent Nintendo Direct. Well, I mean, it didn't blow me away at any point, but I liked everything I saw. There wasn't much of a focus on anything brand new and anything revolutionary or anything like, oh my god, secret announcement, surprise, secret game. Unless, of course, you're into the whole JRPG thing, because I'm not, I couldn't tell you if any of that stuff was ported, if any of it was old, if any of it was brand new that we've never seen before. I couldn't tell you because I'm not into that scene. So, as far as like classic Nintendo IPs go, they're playing it really safe. It's just more revealing, drip-feeding information. But what else is made up for with that alongside it is the fact that they are focusing a lot, as it seems, on bringing back old franchises or taking cult-following franchises and giving more game to it, like, well, with Deadly Premonition. But yeah, like I said, taking back old franchises that you may have missed years ago, or you cannot play anymore because like your cartridges have broken or the hardware doesn't work anymore, whatever. So now you've got like Doom 64 coming back onto the Switch. You've got like, oh, and that Star Wars game as well. So there's clearly they're focusing a lot on bringing classics that they know. Like, it looks like they're focusing more on the heritage of games and giving everyone now that has a Switch a chance to catch up / play them / experience them on a brand new system that's also portable. So, I mean, what better position could you be in, really? You could be in a position where you have to keep making new things in order to keep relevant, and otherwise people are just not going to bother. Or you can keep making new things, but not make it as much of a focus as also bringing back the legendary heritage you have of other franchises, other games, and older titles that you can then port onto the system and then make it portable for everybody. So I think that's a good position to be in. You can do the best of both worlds, and that's what this Nintendo Direct was trying to tell us, I think. So hopefully we'll see more retro stuff. That would be pretty cool.